Welcome into Picks and Parlays Bettors Edge. We've got Week 15, Sunday football now. We've talked about the Saturday games, Pony. Now we got to move into Sunday. Jets and Dolphins, the last time these two teams played, the Dolphins won by 21 points. Now, this was a very different Jets team that they played, though, led just by different quarterbacks at times. They've just been all over the map. And now we're seeing Zach Wilson leading this team, seemingly coming off of one of the best games of his career for the Jets. But we also know that he's not going to be with this team potentially long term. So how do you think they fare in Miami as an 8.5-point underdog?
First of all, we're missing somebody. There's no Craig here, so we're going to have to get Craig's picks off the app, and he's done an unbelievable job with some of these best bets so far this year. So stay tuned for those. Look out for those. I was blown away by Wilson against Houston.
117 passer rating.
Yeah, and he threw for over 300 yards. He was great under pressure. He was awesome on third down. It was a bad weather game. There were reports that he didn't want to go back into the lineup, that he didn't want to play anymore. And then he had that performance against a Houston team that's coached up on defense. Yeah, I mean, after what I saw from Miami on Monday night, I like the Jets here. The Jets' defense has not traveled as well this year, but Miami stumbled late last season. Tyreek Hill is probably going to play, but we'll see what happens with that ankle. That's definitely worth monitoring all week. I don't know. I don't have a great feeling with Miami. Every time now they play a bad team, their lines are so inflated because there's the expectation that they're going to score 30 points. I don't think they're going to score that many against the Jets, and I think the Jets' offense looks improved. So I'm going to take the points here.
Yeah, typically I'm all about Miami and scoring points, but not this week. I really don't think so. If you look at the Dolphins, the schedule that they have ahead is a gauntlet.
Yeah, after this, it gets super tough for them.
Yeah, the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Bills, they need this game, but they need to squeeze out a win, I think, in my opinion. I really do like the way that Zach Wilson is playing for the Jets. I think he's sort of making a case for himself to go somewhere else at this point, which is why I think you're seeing him play really well. But I like the under in this one. I couldn't really pick a side because we have seen the Dolphins then blow out teams all of a sudden, and we have seen the Jets crumble. Is Zach Wilson going to keep that 117 passer rating moving into this week against a Miami Dolphins team that sacked Boyle 7 times the last time they played? So I would just say my safest bet here is take the under. I don't see the Dolphins. I think they'll play more of a conservative game this week, especially if Tyreek Hill is a little bit banged up. And I don't see the Jets necessarily lighting up the scoreboard as they have not all season, but their defense has been pretty good. So if I'm them, I'm taking this as a case of Tyreek Hill might be banged up. Let's try to put as much pressure on him as possible, force them to go another way. And if Tua is forced to manage a game in a different situation outside of Tyreek Hill, not having him to go with, I don't see them putting up a ton of points. So the under 40 will be my best play in this one, mostly because of that defensive matchup. Heading into the Cowboys and the Bills, this might be one of the most exciting games of the week because of what Josh Allen and the Bills were able to do against the Chiefs. Now, there was a lot of controversy at the end of that game, but like it or not, a win is a win in this league, and boy, the Bills needed that one big time. So a much-needed win over the Chiefs, but at home this week as a 2.5-point favorite against a lightning fast, red-hot Dallas offense. Can they do it?
I think they can. Yeah, I'm in on the Bills to keep this going. Look, this rule I have where when teams blow out great teams, it's really difficult for them to match that intensity the following week, and it's really been a great betting philosophy for me all year. And the Cowboys win over the Eagles fits right into that. I mean, they obliterated their rival. They got themselves back into the NFC East race, plus maybe the number 1 overall seed. They're on the road. I don't think weather is going to be that big of an issue in Buffalo from what I've seen for Sunday, so I'm not going to give the Bills an edge for that. Frankly, with the way they play, I don't even think they want bad weather in Buffalo. We saw that in the playoffs last year with Cincinnati. It actually backfired on them. So I think Josh Allen at the moment, he's not done this all year, but I think for this very second, he's playing MVP caliber football. He's put the Bills on his back. He can match Dak Prescott. And based on what I saw Buffalo do to Patrick Mahomes and the pressure they put on him, I think they can do some of the same things to Dak and slow down that Dallas defense. So, yeah, I think it's a small line. Buffalo's favored for a reason I'm going to take them to win.
When you have the conversation of who do you not want to play at this point in the season, it's usually Josh Allen, right? It's usually Josh Allen at this point in the season. Playoffs right around the corner. Josh is that type of quarterback that always seems to be there at the moment for his team. But I have to disagree with you on this one. I have to
You're
go.
believing in the Cowboys now.
I have to go with the boys in this one. That 2.5 number is small. And the past 6 of their 7 games that they've been winning after the bye week, they're blowing teams out. I don't care who those teams are. When you're blowing teams out consistently in the NFL, right now they're just one of the best teams. When you look at the Niners and Cowboys, it's really hard to not look at them and pick them as a favorite over a lot of teams. Now you're getting them as an underdog over a Bills team that, if that call wasn't made against the Chiefs, they're coming into this one off of a loss. They were very close to doing that. I get what Josh Allen and this Bills team can do. And yes, they can keep it close, but Dallas can play a close game and still, get out of this one unscathed. But that plus 2.5 for me, that's just why I have to make the argument for it. They don't have to blow out the Bills how they have other teams.
They don't even have to win.
They don't even have to win. That plus 2.5, just it's sitting right there for me. It's sitting pretty. It scares me a little bit just because of that number and them being an underdog and Josh Allen and all the things. But this could be a 1-point game in the Cowboys. If you take them at that 2.5 number, you still win. So gotta ride with the Cowboys in that one. That's my argument for that. But I do love the way that Josh Allen and the Bills are playing, and I'd love to see that team take a jump. Moving back into the AFC North, we've talked a lot about them today. The Ravens into Jacksonville. This is a big game. The Jags had back-to-back losses against the AFC North right now. Will they make it a third? We will see. Do you like them as a 3.5-point underdog at home against the Ravens team, who's been probably one of the more consistent teams in the league this season?
Yeah, I really don't. I know that the Rams covered against the Ravens last week, and that was an overtime game. But there were things I saw from the Ravens offense that I think, big picture, are really encouraging. You had OBJ have a big game, caught a long touchdown pass. Likely, the tight end who has to fill in for Mark Andrews was very involved and scored a touchdown. Zay Flowers continues his ascent as a young wide receiver. When they made the offensive coordinator change in Baltimore, it was to unleash the passing game and get Lamar Jackson up to speed with the other great quarterbacks as a passer and not just the best runner we've ever seen. And I think we're finally seeing the kind of fruits of that labor take hold. And for Jacksonville, this line, and I know Baltimore's favored on the road, but to me, it almost feels like there's the expectation that Lawrence is 100% and is still not bothered by the high ankle sprain. I don't know. I watched that game against Cleveland. I thought he made some uncharacteristic mistakes, and I also was blown away by how bad Jacksonville's defense was and how many blown coverages there were in that game. I'm not convinced whatsoever that they're going to have any success against Baltimore's offense. Look at the way Browning's lit them up and Joe Flacco in the last 2 weeks, Hannah. Mm-hmm. I think Baltimore's going to go down there and win by more than a touchdown.
That's a fair assessment. Absolutely. I had the Ravens straight up in this one. Maybe that'd be something I'd add to a parlay this week just to get some more value. But I liked the Ravens money line in this one. A huge reason is they're the healthier team right now, which is crazy to say about the Baltimore Ravens because typically they're the most injury-ridden team of the league every season. The Jags are giving up close to the most passing yards per game in the league. So when you can have Lamar Jackson choose if he wants to pick you apart or use his legs, that's a dangerous combination right now. And they're going to try everything they can, I think, to stop the run, but he's been lighting up the scoreboard. He has a lot of receivers he can rely on. They're a healthy team, like I said. The Ravens have maybe one bad loss this season. That's the Steelers. Other than that, they've really taken care of business, and I don't even know if I consider that a bad loss, I should say, because against an AFC North opponent that you have history against on the road, it's not really a terrible loss. I think it's just the amount that they lost by is probably why I would consider that their worst loss this season. So other than that, it's been close games or they're taking care of business.
They've led with 2 minutes left in every game this year.
That's insane.
Which even the 2007 Patriots didn't do that. So they have lost a couple of games late that prevent them from having an unblemished record. Can I give a best bet?
Absolutely. I want to hear it.
Do you have a best bet?
I do have a best bet.
Okay, good. So my best bet is San Francisco laying huge points against Arizona. The line is 13.5 on the road for the 49ers. This is maybe a outside the box theory on why I'm such a big fan of them in this game. I really think they're almost going to treat this game like it's a college game where they're running up the score. And that's because everything that comes out of San Francisco has to be convinced that they're going to do everything in their power to get Purdy the MVP award. So I don't think they'll show any mercy. Arizona's coming off a bye. They've also been eliminated from playoff contention officially. They can't make it no matter what kind of hot spree they go on here over the next few weeks. The 49ers are just so much better than every team in the NFL that I think if they really want to embarrass an opponent, they can. And I get the sense that they're going to do that in this game.
Yeah, I have a feeling about that too. And they need to just keep their momentum going any way that they can. Right now, like you said with Arizona, they're going to be checked out. They're going to be looking at who's the next quarterback. What can we do? How can we fix this team? So,
Tyler's playing his video games and not looking at the playbook.
I would say my best Sunday bet would be that Ravens money line bet. I would say put that on a parlay if you can. I feel really confident about the Baltimore Ravens right now. But my best bet of the week is going to be a prop bet on Monday Night Football. So you're going to have to tune in to Monday Night Football to get my best bet of that. And maybe I'm not the person to follow Monday night. Maybe Pony is because of his recency bias with that day. But I feel good about this one. So this is Picks and Parlays Bettors Edge Week 15. Make sure you head over to the Picks and Parlays app for more and stay tuned for our Monday Night Football picks.